Well, I want to start by talking about the fact that you two mentioned in last night's episode that the Amazing Race runs deep in your family. So I'm curious, Rubina, what was then your reaction when you were given this offer to come on and given your connection to the show? Was Kristine always going to be your first choice for a partner?
Uh, First of all, yes, thank you for bringing this up because my reaction was immediately yes. There was not, I don't even think they finished the sentence before I said, yeah, of course. I
Hmm.
called my sister, I don't know,
Immediately.
-2 minutes after
Yeah,
and
at
was like,
work. I remember the
obviously,
calls specifically.
obviously we're doing this. There was no question. And honestly, it was like maybe 10 days after I got out of the house. So I had zero recovery time or like
Right.
rest time. And I was gagged that I was asked. But I will say in the house, I kind of dropped little hints like, hey, would love to do Amazing Race. Want to do Amazing Race. Amazing Race is the dream.
You
And
did.
so I did. And honestly, it really was always the dream. We grew up watching this show with our mom who's no longer
Hmm.
with us. So to be able to actually do it and live out this
Yeah.
dream and be the first full Filipino team and females
Right.
to be on the US Amazing Race is
Right.
a dream come true.
Yeah. Super bucket list item.
Yeah, and there was no other person I could have done it with. My dad was a little bit butthurt that it was not him.
Yeah.
We might have made it past. No, we would have been cut before Jack and Enzo, if it was him. But like, it was always gonna be my sister. It was
Yeah.
always gonna be Christine.
Yeah.
So then, Christine, from your perspective, I'm always intrigued by those who obviously we have not seen on our screens before, and you got to
Right.
experience, of course, for better and for worse, the impact that having a loved one on TV in such a public spotlight can be.
Right.
Did that give you any sort of coloring as to how, you would be on the race? Was there ever a part of you that was like, is this going to be on camera at the end of the day?
Yes. Oh my
Oh,
gosh. I had so many anxieties about that because we got a very gracious edit for sure because
yeah,
we
we argued.
we're sisters, we bickered,
Yeah.
I was very anxious about them, what moments are they going to show or low points, but luckily like those were barely shown, but but also Rubina was like, well, but also that's showing real sisterhood anyways, so what are you even worried about? But other than that, to be honest, when it came to the actual race time, I forgot about the cameras most of the time because I
She
was
was so
so,
concerned beforehand. She was like,
yeah, I
"What
was
am I gonna do with the
very
cameras there?" I was like, "You're not
right.
even gonna notice, girl."
Right. Yeah. So like, after seeing her on Big Brother and like there's all these cameras or on her, but even that experience for her, she didn't have like cameramen in her face or camera people on her face. So that's something that I was glad that I realized throughout is that I didn't even think about them. I was so focused on what we had to do and my competitiveness just came came into
Yeah,
play. So
she's the competitive one.
Well, you two had, for lack of a better term, a day to yourselves, in Croatia to finish the.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm
yeah.
intrigued though from your perspective because obviously, you were able to escape the U-turn. We'll talk about that. But, as the day goes along, and I'm assuming, we don't see you seeing any other teams. I don't know if that was the case, but what are the feelings changing from like okay, we still might catch up to just like, I'll have a nice day with my sister in raining Croatia.
That is exactly what it
Yes.
was. Well, like at the like we had a little bit of hope, of course, once we read the clue that said may be
Maybe.
eliminated.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
everybody clocked that. It said may,
May.
right? And so
Right.
we were like, oh, maybe, but we did not see a single soul out there. Not even
Yeah.
regular Croatian people. They were hard to
Right.
find.
It was very desolate.
It was very desolate, much less people from the race. So
Right.
yeah, once we were getting to each part of the leg and realizing, well, it is literally just us. Our only hope was we may be eliminated. So we
Yeah.
did everything. I mean, we didn't make any really big errors or
Yeah, I'm really
anything.
proud of how we ran that
We
leg.
were
I mean,
efficient.
other than her glasses falling into the ocean,
Hilarious.
um, I
You just
do.
pulled. I mean, you made the Titanic reference when you were coming in. You just did it a little too
She
early, right?
did.
Right,
That
right.
was your
I
part
Oh
of the
my
ocean.
manifested
gosh,
it,
you
I think.
did.
Just
So, I mean, I do believe that we ran a strong leg, but there was just no opportunity. There's no, unless somebody
royally messed up. Yeah.
royally messed up. I mean, we were just so far behind. It was just a poorly planned leg, especially after a U-turn. I
Yeah.
mean,
We wish it was an equalizer because I mean, I feel like that would have made sense, but at the end of the day, It is what it is. We're
Yeah.
grateful. We're just grateful we survived the U-turn. How
Right.
iconic. How many
Right.
teams, both teams survived the U-turn. And for it to
Right.
be the first time two female teams were U-turned
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
well, and we both survived. I mean,
Right.
how could we be mad at
Right.
anything after that?
After
Like,
that.
how could we
After
be
that.
mad?
Right.
Well, yeah, let's talk about what got you in that situation in the first place. Because, I mean, we saw a little bit of your reaction, at least verbalized, as to the surprise upon seeing that. But talk to me about that a bit more. Have you had the chance in the
Oh,
intervening months to talk with the Abden brothers about what
oh,
happened, to give them a
They
piece of
are
your mind?
groveling to us constantly still.
yeah. We get sorry messages all the time. We're so
All the
sorry. We're so
time.
sorry. We're so sorry. Jack and
Because they
Jazz pressured
saw.
us.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
now they've seen what had to happen after that. But
right. I have a
no,
voice note
we
from him last night actually saying, "We're so sorry." Literally
right.
from last night.
No, but like, even when we were running along that leg of the race, there is a clip of me saying, it's not going to be us. So we literally had no idea that we were even going to be an
Be an
option.
option.
Right.
Mhm.
We're like,
It
look at all
just
these strong teams. There's 2 people with an express pass.
pass, right? Logically, why would it be us at the back
Yeah.
of the pack with no express pass and half the legs you have?
Right. So
So we just, yeah, truly did not expect to
shock.
see our faces. Like, there was utter shock. And in that moment, we were like, listen, we have to just do this. We don't care.
Yeah, we didn't have time to
We
process.
didn't have time to be mad.
Yeah.
Watching it back, oh, we were
We were
mad.
mad.
Oh, we let it out. I have the tiger hat on right now, but like, yeah, we were like, what the heck? Why? Why us? Look, we're so little, and there's all these other people. There's an express pass, and so yeah,
Right.
we let the anger out now.
Yeah, right.
Now,
After the
but in that
fact.
moment, we had to stay focused, and I'm glad we
Yeah.
did because obviously it worked in our favor.
Right.
However,
We
we
didn't
were
let it get to us. For
right.
sure
Yeah.
in the moment.
Well, one of the things that really surprised me, let alone I think a lot of fans, was the fact that going into the race, we're like, okay, there are 2 teams of which, there's a currently existing couple. Like, clearly these 2 are going to be thick as thieves, automatic alliance. And whether it was just due to the way the cards were falling, but it seemed like from our perspective, like, I don't know. It almost seemed like a concerted effort that you 2 and Tucker and Eric were like, we're not necessarily going to work together. Was that the case?
Was that the case? Could it be? Would you say that that's true? I don't know. Given that we were mostly okay, we started off the race really strong at 4th, right? And then
Mhm.
train wreck happened, and it
Right.
was really hard to move to the front. But
Mhm.
I would say, listen, we're all running our own races. However, given the U-turn situation, would I maybe, if it were the shoes were on the other foot, would I maybe have considered? I don't know. Maybe I would have. I don't know. But we're all different people. We think differently. Maybe men and women also in general think differently. That's fine. However, yeah, I felt a little bit salty, only that there were 2 other teams with an express pass that maybe you could have just at least flushed those out. And at the end of the day, if you had to meet up with them again, be like, look, it's all game. I needed to get one of those express passes out to help our game. Cool. Who would be mad about that? Also,
Right.
I don't know, typically compared to like Big Brother style that you played, kind of
I
confusing to
mean,
me
it's
that you
just
wouldn't.
not even from her personal standpoint about like what the relations at that time, but it's
Right.
just like the amazing
Game.
race, game strategy.
Right.
Why didn't they do it?
Right. Right. And I get it because you think, we're going to have a target on backs, but I feel like you inevitably would have a target anyway. So
Right.
why would you not do something that helps your game? Again, different people, respect. You thought that was better for you
Yeah.
in that moment, and I wish you well.
Well, I'm intrigued because Rubina, at one point you mentioned the cry and rally strategy.
Yes.
I imagine though that's easier said than done, especially in an environment like the race, right? When your emotions get the better of you, especially when exhaustion is mounting. We've heard about that. We've seen that multiple times. So talk about trying to, effectively play out that tactic as the emotions get increasingly harder to overcome.
Oh my gosh, I love that you brought up the crying rally because I really think this needs to be implemented in every household.
Yes.
I think that is a great strategy. Look, you're gonna do whatever you need to do, but it's okay that you need to cry about it first, then you need to attack it.
Move on. Yeah.
Right. And I think the reason that was maybe I would say not easier, but the reason I was able to do it in the race because it's so stressful. I usually
Yeah.
don't even cry about those
Right.
situations. But the reason I was able to do that is because in regular life, girl, I'd be crying and rallying all day, every day for the last 36 years of my life. It is something that has helped me,
Yeah.
especially with losing our mom and like
Right.
a lot of situations where that are deeper and more like real world
Hmm.
situations where I've had to just let myself feel what I need to feel and
Right.
then still get my head in the game of
Right.
life. And in the race, that is something that I knew. Look, I know I'm going to cry at some point. I know I'm going to do it. But is that going to get us eliminated? Absolutely not. I'm not
Not
going to cry and be like, well, I guess I'm done here. No, we're going to
right.
cry. I'm going to cry about it first and then I'm going to get it done.
Get it
So,
together.
right. I just feel I'm so glad that became an episode title because I have stickers made that are
Yes.
cry and rally from again because I've used it in my life before. Years ago I made a cry and rally sticker. And so I feel like crying is not a weakness. I
Yes.
Yeah.
think that we need to reverse the idea that like crying means you're weak. Okay, maybe it's strong to feel what you need to feel and still do the thing, you know?
Yes.
Exactly. Well, the last thing I'm going to ask is that you spoke about this being an opportunity, almost like, Hannah and Simone to a certain extent, to sort of rediscover yet also build on, a relationship that wasn't entirely there up to a certain extent. So I want to hear from each of you. What did you learn the most about the other person racing around
Ooh, I
Europe
love this question.
together? Thank you.
Oh.
Christine, I'm going to start with you here.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. Get her.
Rubina's like, great question as long as it starts with Christine.
Mm.
I mean, it just I don't know if this is like a learned thing, but it strengthened our sisterhood together because here's the thing is like yes, we've been in a awful, traumatic experience together, but we also have never worked in a stressful environment like that together with a common goal, which
Right.
is different, right? So just learning how to communicate and learning to work together and seeing how she reacts in those situations, and she was just so supportive and never really lost her patience with me too hard or got us to focus on the common goal together. That's really what I feel like made us strong throughout the race and made me really overcome a lot of my anxieties, and that was really a memorable thing for me and something that I learned from Urbina because we really have never like worked together in a stressful environment for a common goal, and how she was and how she just lifted us up when we were down and just didn't make anything too big of a deal, and I'm on the complete opposite of that. Was something that I'm going to take from the race for sure.
All right, Rubina, your turn.
Ah, this is so great because the thing about me is I am the one who loves to put myself, unfortunately and fortunately, in challenging situations, whether it's intentional or not. I love making myself rise to an occasion, and I put myself in those situations on purpose sometimes. And my sister so does not like, and whether
Hmm.
it's she's the responsible one, she's the one who graduated 4 years of college, she had the 9 to 5, and then she like, she's like the child that you would imagine you would want to raise, and I am the black sheep. I've always been the black sheep.
Yeah.
So what I would say for her is I am so proud about the way that I saw her rise to the occasion in situations where she usually is the one who needs answers. I need to know when, where, why, how. And in this situation, you don't know anything. You only know each other. All you have is each other. The only thing you know is that we have to
Right.
do this. So I am so incredibly proud of seeing you put all those anxieties and fears and worries to the side and get things done. Specifically, like I will never let go of the U-turn, the U-turn debacle, and
Yeah.
how we we fought and we rose to the occasion and we survived. Like,
Yeah.
and I don't know if you would have ever seen yourself doing that or being in a situation where you would have had to. She has never had to push herself that hard. I know mentally,
Never.
physically, emotionally,
No.
because at the end of the day, it does become emotional because
Right.
you're fighting your own self. It's you versus you at the end of the day.
Yes.
And so I'm so proud and impressed with how she found that part of herself, of met a version of herself that she had never met before.
Right.
Um,
Ah.
Yeah, I mean, not
Thanks,
only that, though, I
guys.
think that it also speaks to, yes, it does take a lot within yourself to rise to the occasion, but it means equally as well to have someone incredibly supportive. alongside them. And I think
Exactly.
you see,
Yeah.
despite the arguments that we might have missed out on, what I did glean from your relationship is the fact that you were so supportive of each other during those moments. Rubina, when you were feeling so pressured by the driving,
Yeah.
Kristine, when you were having trouble with, the karting downhill, like you both were so incredibly supportive of one another. And look, obviously, the $1 million prize would be incredible. But I do honestly believe that there are some instances, especially on a show like The Amazing Race, where you also walk away with kind of an ancillary prize of
Oh,
an
100%.
appreciation for each
100%.
other. And
Yes.
that's really incredible, especially hearing about your story yesterday. Like I clearly this show means a lot to you and this experience has meant a lot to you. And I'm sure it's
Yes.
given you many different, POVs about the show moving forward now that you've gotten to experience it.
Oh,
Oh,
100%.
100%.
Just like the experience is definitely priceless and just such a great gift that not a lot of people get to experience. Like you cannot even pay for that kind of experience because even if you did, you're not going to feel the pressure. You're not going to
Yeah,
be
there's
put
no
under
way
these
to recreate
situations.
that.
Yeah.
No, like so just to be able to be one of the few in the Amazing Race family to be able to experience it with my sister is
And
just
for our mom who would have wanted
yeah.
to do it, like, oh, the full circle of that. And I'm so glad that they included that because we were getting worried, like, oh man, are they going to mention that the reason we did this
Right.
or why? Like, the biggest reason was for her because,
Right.
yeah, I mean, we grew up watching it and to be able to now seeing us on it.
Yeah.
I know that there's $1 million prize, but there's some things that really money cannot buy.
Mhm.
The
Mhm.
relationship that we have now, the way that we've strengthened ourselves and each other, and just the whole experience. I know that it's really cheesy to say, but like collect moments, not things. And this is the
Yes.
biggest thing I'm putting in my collection. If there were a glass case I could put things in and put on display in my room,
Yes.
it would be this. So, yeah, I'm so forever and always grateful.
Well, thank you for showing off the glass case to us, full of all the experiences you garnered on the race. This is such a great time to get the chance to talk with you and again hear so much about your perspective. Is obviously a lot of emotions, as there should be, baked into such an incredible experience. So thank you both so much.
Oh
Oh,
Again,
no,
it's
thank you
always
thank
a
so
you.
delight.
It's an
much,
honor and a
Mike.
privilege. Thank you
Yes.
so much, Mike.
Oh my God, the
Yes,
pleasure was
thank
all
you.
mine. All the best to you and yours. I love the cat tower, by the way, Kristine. I know you talked
The
about
infamous
that.
Yes, you
cat
talked about
tower.
That's the
building.
one
You
you
see,
talked.
it goes all the way. There's a bridge. There's a moon. Like I'm not talking about some simple cat tower. Okay,
Now I get why you took the roadblock. That makes a lot of
Yeah.
sense now.
Yeah.
All right, all the best, you two. Thanks so much
Oh, happy
again.
Halloween.
Thank
Have a great
you.
You
weekend.
too. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.